Rimworld Blues. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to stream this lately due to, well, I've been feeling some blues myself. I've been waiting to find a better opportunity to show you something more happening in the world of Jeff, the expedition team. Now, let us look back at the game and see where we left off and what's happened since the last time we checked in on Jeff, the vampire. Now then, before we begin, let's take a little look at what's happened recently. Our stockpile has recently given some walls and doors. This will stop the deterioration of all of our items inside from the cold, harsh environment and possibly getting damaged from random fires. We've currently reached the first day of winter, which means our crops we've now recently grown more of may not be able to survive very long due to plants not surviving very well in winter, cold times. We are starting to smooth out our prison section to get better bonuses when talking to prisoners to try and convince them to join our colony. And of course, you may notice Bumfin, the dwarf forager, has been convinced to join our colony. Now then, let's pick up where we left off. Now, Jeff has managed to develop his vampiric abilities a bit further. He has now gained two new abilities: Crocodile Tongue, which gives a bonus to social skills and bartering, and Spectral Wolf, which summons a ghostly wolf to help him attack his enemies. Jeff is now sporting a steel dwarf walking axe, picked up from the raids from Strolin and Bumfin, feeling he needed an upgrade since his club. One, of course, event I may note is that a Tyrannosaurus Rex decided to join a colony after being self-tamed from hanging around. Unfortunately, as we lack the resources to handle such a beast and look after them, Jeff took a hard choice of killing the T-Rex. His meat has helped the colony grow, and we now have a T-Rex skull which we can use to sell off to traders. Now we've got 3 people working around. We should probably start assigning colonial duties. Bumfin is currently our forager and chef. Jeff is still our all-rounder, apart from he's now avoiding cooking. And Rachel is starting to focus purely on crafting and smithery work. She'll now become an artisan. Now then, we've also got another companion part of the colony, Unstoppable. Now, Unstoppable is a dinosaur. Is a tree lizard dinosaur. He is a Dryosaurus, for those who are interested. And in Rimworld, Dryosaurus apparently are similar to chickens, which will produce a lot of eggs once you find Unstoppable a healthy mate to go with it. You may notice we have been clearing up the little hill where Jeff first lived, as we're going to be turning this into a nice little barracks for our colonists. As the fire goes out, it's now time to start harvest more wood to keep the fuel going. Remember, as we lack a lot of, we don't lack a lot of wood, a lot of tree harvesting capabilities, as our grassland area biome is not designed for tree harvesting. So, in this sort of scenario, it might be worth us making our own tree plantation. Unfortunately, we are not able to do that. As what's this do? we lack the technology to grow our own trees. To do so, we will need to actually make a workbench, a research bench, and learn how to sow trees. This allows us to grow trees native to our environment, our biome. So until then, we'll not sow anything in here, and we should start get work on making a little laboratory for us. Now, I'm thinking, now then, Jeff, if we get our lab, we should use a pre-made building and just take over it. Up to the north, we can see a little hut, which we can use to our advantage and just take over for our own needs. But before we fully do that, we should probably make some more granite to try and keep it a similar aesthetic. Unfortunately, I can't seem to see any granite rocks around, so we may just have to improvise with a little patchwork job. Yeah, as I can see here, the world we've generated in is mostly limestone, marble, and sandstone. We lack granite naturally forming here. So, as we move back, let's just patch up this wall with a bit of limestone. Looks like a chief of Dalbury Hill sent us a message. They urgently need a doctor. Unfortunately, we lack the capacity to travel very far, and neither we hold a good doctor. So we have to ignore the request for now and hope they can survive by themselves. One thing we will have to do actually to make sure this area is ours, we have to claim it. Unfortunately, there's no way to select them all and claim all individually, so we'll have to do this manually, each block manually. With that, we've claimed ourselves a laboratory room. Now, one thing we will have to do is extend our home area to ensure that if anything does happen between the lab and our rooms, we will be able to react appropriately. We also expand our roof area just so we can actually allow Jeff more freedom in the fight during daylight hours. And now we need to make ourselves a research table. Luckily, we can make this out of different bricks. So let's make a fancy one. Let us make a marble research bench, which we do have enough for actually. There we go. As a furniture wise, some nice limestone stuff for people to sit on whilst working in there. And now we shall make sure that the entire section is moved over as it is. And now we'll speed things up. And wait for see what happens next. Looks like Jeff is finishing off the research section. And is now getting to work on building the research bench. What we will do is place an order for limestone blocks to be produced. And I'll make sure our scientist is not creating any, as we need to start doing some research. So until now, we will remove all of our tasks apart from research, and let her get to work. Let's take this opportunity from switching from automatic priority set upon this scale here and go manually. Now, in manual priorities, we have a bit more flexibility in what we want people to do. One thing I found is to make sure we set all of the basic needs, which you can find from basic on cross to firefights, to come up to be a first priority. It appears we have a refugee being chased from Crash City. A dwarf delver named Molin's course from nearby has been chased by employees from the Blue Moon Corporation. He begs for safety and offers to join a colony. He is 58 years old and has no time to collect more information. Now then, we have to be careful as there is a corporate grenadier following him. Now then, as I can only see one grenadier, I think on this occasion we will offer Molin safety, and to our pleasure we get a dwarf delver who is a masochist with a great memory. He is good at shooting, melee, social interactions, and intellectual. This might come in handy, as we now have lost. We can now choose to decide if we want Rachel to become our scientist or Molin. Now, because Rachel does have a lot of skills elsewhere in crafting and intellectual, it might be worth keeping her as our artisan and allow Molin here to become our scientist. So let us change our priority to reflect this. Now we'll have Jeff become our chief negotiator and handler. And we have Molin set to research only. Yeah, a bit of cleaning and holding there just in case. Now we'll set everyone else to never research. As for crafting, we'll have Rachel focus on crafting first, as the first priority. Then cooking and hunting. Have Molin focus on growing and cooking. We'll have Rachel also focus on growing as well, along with Jeff. Now for comes to mining, we'll have Jeff and Rachel focus on mining. Jeff can focus on construction and Rachel. We're not going to have anyone fishing just yet, and we're going to have no one training combat at all for now. We'll have everyone be able to do some crafting whilst nothing else needs to be done. We'll have some blankets set to the lower priority, as we don't need to cut any of the plants down just yet. And with that, we're ready. And Molin now runs to safety. Unfortunately, his legs now should be animated, but unfortunately, I haven't figured out what mods are overriding each other to prevent this from happening. This is probably due to a error in the mod order, but until then, I can't say for sure. And now we wait for. There we go, and here's a raid. Stanford the miner. The grenadier chasing our refugee. Appears to be a teetotaler. Shooting construction with a lot of skills they're fond of. And quite young too. With a lot of good gear. Now this will be someone we want to try and recruit to our colony. And with that, we should probably try and convince them in the best way possible. Jeff. Being nighttime, Jeff has the advantage. But let's make use of our vampire abilities, shall we? Let's summon some ravens to start to incapacitate our victim. And now with Stanford now being distracted by ravens, let's feed on her. Appears she's some sort of combat booster as well. Like that. We shall now attack her. It should be an easy fight for Jeff, who's a expert in close quarter fight, and there we go. A few swings and she goes down. We shall now heal Jeff. And we shall capture our mining friend. And we can claim up Molotovs for ourselves. We now have we now have an AoE weapon which we can use to our advantage. And with that, we've got another prisoner who has lost a leg apparently. Perhaps Jeff swung a bit too hard. And in celebration of rescuing Morlin, he is now throwing a party to us in our name. However, Jeff can't last much longer as he's currently going to be in direct sunlight soon, and thus will need to retire shortly. Another successful defense, and we've gained another colonist. Currently, Mullen has nothing to do, as we haven't assigned him to much work. Let him become a jailer and a wardener, just in case. And we can let him do some construction work whilst there's nothing to research. And with that, we fly through to the next day. We shall focus on crafting some new bricks first to get new buildings. Bowman and Jeff are sleeping until the night time, being both night owls. And Merlin fishes off the research bench for us. What's this? Legends tell of a creature so huge and powerful that entire tribes fled outside of it, such as inspired by the Galatros, an immense creature with a ravenous appetite. Some as related to elusive throne bone. Such questions are probably impossible to answer. Let us follow to see where this Galatros is. And here it is. Must be part of the Alpha Animals mod. Galatros. Throughout every world, tale of old, a creature of untold might and immeasurable height. Strength that machines can't copy. A power that so-called heresy. Beware would be foes, beware the wrath of Galatros. Looks like Galatros is a herbivore by the looks of things, judging by its diet of vegetables, seeds, plants, trees. Has quite an armor penetration. Does quite an armor penetration, a lot of damage as well. I don't think we want to be annoying this creature. In terms of wildlife, 100% anger, but being a herbivore, it shouldn't really bother us that much. Small spacecraft chunks have fallen into the area. Perhaps from a broken ship that Jeff crashed landed on before may have been destroyed in orbit. Or perhaps the space battle is going on and we just can't see it. For now, we shall gather those resources later. For now, we need to continue focusing on what's at hand. I've noticed I've been telling Rachel to produce limestone bricks. When we haven't had any limestone bricks in storage, we have instead got sandstone chunks. Leading our correct this error, and now start producing our sandstone bricks. Like Jeff is hungry and starts feeding on prisoners. After all, they are just walking blood banks, aren't they? It seems some meat we've got to some hunting beforehand have started to rot away in our storage room. There's only one way to prevent meat from rotting, and has to keep it below 0 degrees, and unfortunately we do not have the resources to do so just yet. Looking at Merlin, this looks like he's not ready to survive winter. We do have some spare cloth. Perhaps we can get Rachel to produce something for us. Like a jacket. Just to make sure our new colonist doesn't actually freeze to death out here. Cloth has been made out of heavy fur for when we did some hunting. No, only the one rough sandstone chunk now remains in our little jailer cell area. After which, we now have a nice little area that our prisoners can be kept, and then we can start focusing on other important matters such as our light sources. As we do now have a little bit of wood nearby, perhaps we can start making some torch lights just so we have a little bit of light before we work. And we'll have one in our newly acquired laboratory. And with that, we now have a jail cell, which can hold 4 people, perhaps 5 if we keep it all cramped up, but I don't think the prisoners would appreciate that too much. And with that, we now have light. As well as being a light source, the torches will also provide a little bit of heat as well, to help us get through the cold winter weathers. It appears that a dry thunderstorm is now wreaking havoc over the area. It appears Merlin's not actually too happy with where we are. Perhaps we should make him a little bed for him to live in. Sleep on. Got a nice sandstone bed next near Jeff. Now let's get started on learning how to grow trees in our biome. I'll set this to mold. With that, we need to start thinking about expanding our living arrangements, because unfortunately it's getting a bit too crowded for Jeff and he needs his space. Now earlier before this episode, I set Jeff to set up an order to start mining some compact machinery. With this, we can start harnessing the power of electricity. Oh, and here comes a bit of snow for us. Unfortunately, snow when it lands will make it harder for us to walk around in, but it'll also put up the fire. That section being mined, Rachel will now head back up and haul our newly acquired loot. Now then, we can start harnessing the power of electricity, but to do that, we will need a wind turbine. We can use generators, but however, as we lack the ability to grow wood needed for a wood-fired generator, or have the ability to refine plant material or nitroglycerin into chem fuel, are two sustainable generators would not be the best of ideas. So instead, we'll go with a not so reliable wind turbine. And we will have it... We'll have it just near the research facility. Now then, we still lack the necessary materials to make it, as we're missing some steel. To compensate that, we'll have one of our colonists go out and acquire some for us. Here we go. Small section of steel which now can be mined off for our needs. And Jeff is already willing to go do this for us. Hello to those who have just recently joined the stream. This is Rimworld Blues and my name is Droidxnd. Feel free to leave a message in the chat room and I will respond to you in stream or in chats. And now, with this, we can start being a more civilized society instead of relying on just fire to keep us warm. We'll now have a heater soon. It appears a boar has decided to go rampant. And now attacking our poor Rachel. Unfortunately, Jeff can't go out to save her, so I have to go hire Boomfrim to come attack the boar and rescue Rachel. As there's a chance that she may not make this, especially with the boar skewing her with tusks. And with that, Rachel has now fallen to the ground. And I made rescue. It appears Boomfrim's not moving very fast. He has food poisoning. In that case, we'll have Boomfrim pick up a steel club and rescue Rachel. And Boomfrim can just go back and recover. I need someone quicker to rescue Rachel before she starts to bleed out, as we don't have much long until she runs out of blood. We could save her with Jeff. However, here's our foragers down as well. We'll have Boomfrim prioritise returning to Rachel just so we can stop the bleeding from happening. That Rachel should not be in any danger from bleeding out. And she can now rest and recover from her encounter with a wild boar. It appears that Elsa's outlanders from Nordia have decided to use this opportunity to come and attack us with a small child. I don't see this ending very well for the young child, as he is defenseless, heading towards a colony where a vampire lurks about. But from the bright side, we can figure this as free clothing. We would try and recruit the child, but unfortunately we've got too many mouths to feed as it is, and not enough food. and looking after a child. Oh, actually, let's have a look. Very neurotic. Still loves to party. I think the way it is, we will not be having a child joining our colony today. Jeff is feeling a little bit hungry. Well, I'll say Jeff, his wolf companion, is a little bit hungry. And with that, we've rescued our little dinosaur, and we've incapacitated a child. Perhaps we should take mercy on this small child. Here's a little spectral wolf has decided to depart after it's been needed. I think we should now show some mercy. And take him in. I'll patch him up and release them. Let's do the right thing. Appears to be we're running out of food. Alright, now we have a working wind turbine. Perhaps we need Jeff to become like a chef again. Appears we got a great good location for the turbine, producing quite a bit of power for us. And now we've got Jeff working on the campfire, making sure our colonists have enough food to survive. Oh, until everyone's fully healed, like Bummerfin, a little forager. And with that, appears to have received word about a bandit camp nearby. The Prime Councillor Droidxnd sent us a message. Bandits have been harassing the caravans. If we do this quest, we'll get a portable disassembling bench and an advanced bionic hand. But once again, we lack the resources to send out parties. And so we must wait. Let the bandit camp be dealt with by another faction. It appears Merlin seems to be content with his new laboratory. And Unstoppable, our little tree dinosaur, has been fully healed. Pace the child is now capable of walking again. And Merlin will now attempt to... has now released a small child back into the world. And then carry her May away. Now you may notice, by letting Nodito get out showing mercy to them, our relationship with Nodito seem to have improved. And Mato seems to become apathetic to working. Possibly due to how stressful it's been out here in the whim. And just doesn't want to do any work whatsoever for the colony. I thought we have to respect that. You know, living out here and just being raided and being gored by wild boars can't be easy for someone. appears we're now running out of food. As Selma's asking us to supply him with some fedoras. Unfortunately, we still don't have a big capacity to send our caravans, so we're going to ignore that request. Looks like we're trying to overcome her apathy as the raid returned to work. What we'll do now is have Jeff clean up the surrounding area, as cooking food near vomit is not the most hygienic thing in the world. And he can continue hunting, getting his steel. Now we do have a wind turbine, we should probably start finding a way to store the energy. Once we have our tree research done, we'll start working on batteries. It appears Jordan's resistance has been convinced that joining the colony is not a bad idea. And with a brewmaster, we do actually have someone who can use magic, but also someone who can cook for us as well, and focus on cooking and plant growing for us. For now, let's work on recruiting them, shall we? What we'll do is start asking for ship chunk speed disassembled so we can reap what they contain. And now we wait for the next day to come around. We'll also start adjusting work pattern for Merlin, as we need to get in line with everyone else. Deconstructing ship components seems to give us a lot of components as well as steel we can use. Now though, looks like Jeff's got some more levels of vampirism. Let's start seeing some of these hidden locations, shall we? After all, we want to know what's in here, shall we? Let's find out. Apparently this structure contains a great evil, and we should be cautious when going near it. One thing we do need actually is a bit more food. Let's go gather some turkeys. However, we've got a bit more meat to keep the colony going. Now then, a plan for next time Rimworld Blues is up. We'll be expanding out slightly. We shall make a little, much bigger, much more impressive barracks section over here. By 25, 10, 25. That's a little wall for us. And we will extend Jeff's little quarters. And perhaps make something maybe more desirable for a vampire of his status to live in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask Molin to stop researching and focus on hauling some goods across. After all, we've got all these components from these deconstructing ships, but no one's delivering them to us. Luckily, Molin will do it for us now for us. Also here, we'll ask Rachel to make another 10 set of limestone blocks for us. With all these components of steel, once we get ourselves some batteries, we can make use of electricity generating from our windmill, our wind turbine. Looks like there's an expo happening nearby. Fortunately, once again, we can't make it yet, as we haven't started making traveling food, or traveling rations, shall I say. I think it's time we'll stop asking Mullen to be a jailer and focus on hauling. Doesn't seem to be much in the terms of wildlife around here, actually. Maybe we should probably beckon some more to come join us. After all, we need a much more lively ecosystem, don't we? And Jeff knows how to do that. A herd of animals has now disappeared. Got some meadow aves, an ankylosaurus, another bear, a feralisk. Ooh, this be very wild. Perhaps calling some more creatures to join us was a bad idea. But we got some nice little rabbits to help us out. We might need Jeff to start taking care of us feralisks, though. After all, they appear to be completely hostile. and Jeff just makes it back before sunrise. It would be quite a disaster for him to be caught out in the sun. After all, vampires do burn. And Mona will clean up and gather the remaining materials back to our base colony. Once we have a new barracks room up and running, I think that's what we'll call the stream to an end. Until next time. I should hopefully be trying to stream this at least once every other day, barring something doesn't happen in real life which prevents me from doing so. But please feel free to subscribe to this channel and be notified for next time that Rimworld Blues appears to be streamed by me. And with that rain setting in, we'll leave the story for now. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Rimworld Blues, and I'll see you next time.